Thank you. For people of my generation, to be in 10 Downing Street with the Fonz is an amazing experience and something which you never thought would happen in your life.
Let me just say, I am thrilled out of my mind.
That was even more amazing than Thank you very much indeed, Henry. Henry's done so much campaigning over the last few years, and so we're delighted to be back in this campaign, and also to be here with First News and Nikki, and with one of the best loved and best selling newspapers in the country, I know, and David knows, and we know in our department, travelling around the country, Diana's here, that you go to schools, and this is the paper which the young people are choosing to read and learning about the world in, responding to the surveys, challenging the politicians and the teachers, and so it's great that you're backing this campaign. The other thing is really good to be here with Sarah, because I've been here over the last couple of years in different receptions in Downing Street, and we're here today to back this campaign, but I've been here to 2 different receptions where we've been supporting and celebrating children with stammers, been here at a reception with children with autism, a reception as well in the past for children with dyslexia. And what Sarah has done is used this place, Downing Street, to promote and raise the profile of these different barriers to the progress of children, but barriers which you never overcome unless you recognise and face up to them and then do something about it. And one of the real failures of societies is when they don't talk about things which need to be overcome. And you've used Downing Street to talk about these things, so that's really, really important. The thing I think we know is that there are sometimes complications, difficulties, problems, learning barriers, but if we're willing to work together and do something about it, to identify it early, to get the extra support, to understand that difference is okay, you can overcome these barriers, and children can go on to do brilliant things in life, and you can be business leaders, teachers, scientists, politicians, all these different things. If we give children and young people the support to get on and do it in their way, sometimes at their pace, but also with extra help, and that's why this campaign is really important. I think of Henry's work is in particular around children with dyslexia and reading difficulties, and that's the Hank Zipser books are all about that little boy's struggle to be understood, but then the progress he can make when he is understood. And as a result of Henry's work, but also many other people in this room, we've made some real progress on support for children with dyslexia. We're now in the process of training 4,000 dyslexia specialist teachers, which is one way of giving the extra early one-to-one support or small group support which children need to succeed. But I think it also goes wider, doesn't it, than children with dyslexia, across a range of different needs which we need to address and give extra support on. And it's very good to have my predecessor in the room, who was, I think, a brilliant education secretary, but we also worked together with John Berkow. In fact, I think we gave him such a boost to his career, Alan Johnson. John Berkow was asked as a humble backbencher by Alan and I to do some work on speech and language communication, and it was such a successful report, he was then elected speaker. Alan has been a great campaigning Secretary of State for these issues as well, and I think what we're doing for speech and language communications because of that work is also going to make a big difference. I was at a special school in Birmingham, in Hodge Hill, a few months ago. I say it was a special school. It was actually 2 different schools which were put together. One was a primary school, an ordinary primary school, and one was a special school for learning difficulties. And they had the 2 different schools in the same brand new building, and the children used the same classrooms. There were some which were modified to be slightly larger because some of the children needed that. And they used the same canteen, 2 different governing bodies, but they all worked together to be one community in these 2 schools in this one building. And I had a meeting with the school council. It was a school council from the primary school, because the special school children were at lunch or doing something at that point in the day. And I asked the school council the normal questions you ask of young people in 4, 5 and 6. You say, what's the best thing about the school? And they always say, the teachers. It's always a relief to the teachers. What do you want to have changed? And they say, the toilets need to be better.
They are always dirty.
Listen, be careful, we've got the press now. And then you say, what's the head teacher like? And the head teacher always kind of goes, bit nervous at the back. The kids will say, pretty good actually. Pretty right. Which is your head teacher? And then I said, and what else is good about your school? I said, because you've got these two different schools together, what's it like? And this little boy, who's in year 5, he said, the thing is, he said, with the other school, we're all together, he said, what you learn is, we're all different, but we're also all the same. And actually, he said it more simply than any kind of adult could ever have explained it. They were in this school together, and some of the children were different, but they were actually all the same, because they all had hopes and aspirations, and they wanted to do well, and their parents wanted to be proud of them. And as this campaign says, not everybody does things the same. In fact, we're all different. Everybody's got some kind of difference. But if you can understand that difference, and if you can understand it and then support it, children can learn differently. But every child can succeed. And what we've got to do is say, that's not an add-on, or an extra bit, or something we should do for a few. Central to our thinking for educational policy for our country is to say that we're all different, but we're all the same. And if we make supporting difference central to education policy, you can have a world where not just some children succeed, but every child succeeds. And that's what this campaign is all about, My Way. So we are really, really proud to be backing it. Thank you, First News. Thank you, Le Fond.